Welcome to The Real Life Buyer. Whether you are buying for yourself or your business, here you will find tips, techniques and knowledge to support your journey to buying smart. Interviewing business owners and technical experts to give you information and guidance before parting with your money. Save money, time and get what you want when you want it. Now introducing The Real Life Buyer, Dave Barr.
Hello and welcome to The Real Life Buyer. In this episode, I'm very pleased to introduce you to Tegen Rowett, owner of Tegen Accessories. Some time ago, I was in the process of creating a website on a well-known platform and had begun struggling with a number of features. When I reached out to a Facebook community, Tegen was super quick to respond and offered me some great support and guidance. It was fairly soon thereafter she offered to show me her website and was extremely kind to meet me and walk me through how she and her partner had developed her site. Tegan had at that time a lovely boutique in Brighton, but circumstances beyond her control have now made that no longer viable. In this episode, I'll be exploring with Tegan the challenges facing high street retail and how COVID-19 and Brexit are changing the ways in which she operates her business, along with the actions she's taken to manage her inbound and outbound supply chain. So, hello Tegan and welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me on.
Hey, very welcome. Perhaps we could start with you spending just a few minutes informing the listeners about yourself and your entrepreneurial journey to the current day.
Yeah, sure. So it started in 2012 when I got made redundant from my shop job. I was a manager of a store and buyer for a hair accessory company. And that company went into liquidation, sadly. And I loved the job, I loved the team. So I was quite sad. And I was like, well, maybe I can do something with the shop that I worked in, because it was the Brighton shop that I worked in that was profitable, whereas their other stores and their wholesale company weren't as doing as well, which is why the company went into administration. So yeah, I did some chats with suppliers and opened the shop 6 weeks later after it got made redundant. Hired some of the team back. Some of them had already moved on to other things by then, but that was okay. Yeah, so we opened the shop, I rebranded, and I also knew that I wanted to launch a website to go with the shop. So that took a little bit longer. In 2014, I launched the website. Yeah, and fast forward to today, we've actually closed the shop this year in March at the start of lockdown, and we decided that actually it's far better to be 100% online. So that's where we are now.
Okay. So it's sad because obviously I visited the store and it was very well laid out, and I could tell that it was quite attractive for certainly your clients, which brings on perhaps to the products you sell. Perhaps you can give an overview of the products you sell today, the service you offer, and how would you describe your target market?
Yeah, so we sell hair accessories predominantly, and about 90% of what we sell are French handmade hair accessories. So high quality hair accessories. A lot of them are more everyday hair accessories, but we do have sort of crystal pieces and some more sort of fashion led pieces and things as well. Our most our highest converting customers actually ladies 65 plus, but we sell like to younger age groups 25 plus as well. But yeah, so someone who's looking for something a bit like higher quality than the everyday sort of throwaway hair clip.
Okay, now that seems a kind of product that people feel it's a sort of it's tangible. You need to hold it and try it on, and look in the mirror and things like that. So how do you find your new way of working without a physical location and having not to sort of turn up for work every day?
Yeah, so I have a wonderful team that really focus me, and I actually feel like I turn up for work more now because we have our routine that we go for coffee at 10 together, whereas the shop I had a lot more part-time staff. I was flitting from the shop to the office a lot. So now we have like much more focus on one particular project that we're doing, whereas the shop staff were part-time. They were helping with the website, writing product descriptions and photography and stuff, but obviously their focus was the customer that was in front of them, so anything they did on top of that was a bonus. But it was harder to actually do some of that work and wrap the orders in amongst like serving customers in the shop and doing the customer service live chat online and getting customers in the shop, whereas it's far easier to actually focus now. So I'm even more excited to like turn up to work. We got lots of things coming up, and we're doing photo shoots and blogs and mailers all the time, and I have a great team that I work with that we can actually get together and sit down and not get interrupted by customers coming in the shop.
Okay, we're talking about the customers, we're thinking about the product being something that people will almost model and try on in mirrors and such. How do you continue to gauge the pulse of your customers and their changing tastes from an online position? Do you miss the personal interaction, and have you developed new ways of interacting with your customers?
What we do is very data driven. I think having the website, like obviously you have sales and sales reports in the shop, but even more with a website, you've got lots of different data from the website that can help your buying. So we focus on like the fastest moving lines, the ones that make us the most money. We obviously have like new styles coming in to keep regular customers interested. But yeah, I think we still manage to like chat to our customers. Like people ring us up, we're on live chat with customers, we email customers. So we have that interaction with customers, even though it isn't face to face. I still like in the shop, I used to imagine certain customers buying certain products. So it's less easy to do that now, but I do have characters that I miss from the shop. But basically selling online is far more efficient way of selling, so yeah, I still think selling online beats that actually.
Right. Okay. I guess having a store carries lots of other costs that you don't have to bear in your online side. So do you find that the sales and margins that you now enjoy are more positive than you had with the physical store?
Yeah, basically, from when I opened in 2012 to when I closed in March, the rent of the shop had gone up 35%, and our footfall and turnover each year was going down. So that made it more and more difficult to actually make a profit. And when you're putting all that work in, like doing all those displays and things, it is a bit like soul destroying when it's an uphill battle basically. In the beginning it was great, and it was great because the website grew out of the shop, but in the end it just wasn't viable. Whereas in June we moved into our new bigger offices just around the corner from the shop, and the rent, even though it's a much bigger space, is literally 20% of what the shop was. And we can still have appointments, and we're literally around the corner from where we were anyway. So after COVID and stuff, when people actually are more comfortable coming into space, more face-to-face things, we can still have appointments. But the shop, like we needed to take like £3,000 a week just to break even, whereas with the website, if like an ad isn't working, you can turn it off, you can scale up or down much more easily. But with the shop, like the overheads are so big, you have to make a lot of money just to pay those costs. So you can turn off an ad, but you can't stop paying your rent basically.
Ah,
So
that's right.
again, it's much better with the website.
Okay. Do you know what was causing the reduction in footfall? Anything particular? Was it just other stores closing, or what do you think?
Yeah, for when we started in 2012 to when we closed, there were a lot of shops that had closed down around us that were like shops that complemented our business. They had sort of all disappeared, and nothing new had come in. A lot of like the shop that was empty opposite was a big unit, and that had been empty for 3 years, and it's still empty now. And a lot of other shops like that were fashion and clothes and things that were sort of complemented our shop just had completely gone from the area, and it was just all jewelers around us. And I think sort of more and more people were shopping online, but a lot of our customers were tourists to the area, but they kind of were just, it wasn't a shopping destination by the time we'd finished. We were hanging on for a new lane to be built around the corner from us, but even when they built the new lane and opened it, all of those units were empty for ages as well, and they're just starting to fill them with temporary pop-up shops, but it's a little bit too little too late, really.
Right. So, it's almost like a little bit seasonal, like the Christmas type shops that are open for a month and gone again. It sounds like that.
Exactly. And the thing is, Brighton, it's very touristy, so our busiest time was in summer, but the good days kind of got less and less, and as I said, you had to take like about £3,000 a week just to break even. So in the summer you do a lot more than that, but the good times kind of were getting less and less, so trying to eke that out through the winter got harder and harder.
Right. Okay. I understand you have quite a strong and well-established relationship with your key supplier. How do you envisage Brexit will impact your inbound supplies? And here I'm thinking about the customs duties, processing delays, lead time impacts, and the potential for a possible increase in costs.
Yeah, Brexit will have an impact on our business. As I said before, about 85 to 90% of our products come from the EU, and we're working on that as we speak to try and get up to date with all the forms we need to fill out and everything we need to have in place and the software that we need. That's still an ongoing process. There's a lot to do, but yeah, there is obviously going to be a cost and an impact, but our customers look for products that are high quality, and we hope that they're buying them because they're looking for something that's going to last a long time, and they're not shopping it with us because they're the cheapest. So if we have to put up our prices a little bit, I'm sure our customers would understand and buy them because they're valuable, because they last a long time, not just because they're the cheapest on the markets, because they're not, basically.
Yeah. It's interesting because obviously you have a lot of repeat customers. You know, as a guy, I probably wouldn't think of hair clips and that's something that somebody comes in regularly for. I almost think you buy one and that's done for a while, sort of thing. But obviously, people are trying to build up a suite of these products. Then I guess.
Yeah, we have styles that people come back and they want it in a different color, or people have their favorite clips, and then they say, oh, like I'll go for a different color or slightly different style, different hair clips for different hair types. We are definitely more of a less is more company, because we focus on the high quality, so you don't have to buy as many of one product. But yeah, obviously we want something to like go with their different outfits and maybe try a different hairstyle. And obviously, especially over lockdown, people's hair is growing, so they need a clip to take more hair, for example, or they get their hair all cut off and need a completely different hairstyle and different hair clips. So
Okay,
yeah, I think we definitely have repeat customers. About 30% of our sales are people coming back that have shopped with us before.
Okay, right, I understand that. So now you've moved to an online business. How has that changed your product portfolio? Has the range grown or reduced, or how has it developed?
So in the shop, we sold a lot more hats and fascinators for events like Ascot and things like that, whereas we don't sell those products online. In the shop, we were quite known for our fascinators and things, but those were one-off items that we'd buy in for those seasons and those events. So it was very much people would come in maybe with their outfit, wanting to match something. And when we started the website, we did try and put them online, but having a product that's one-off and needing to exactly match a color or an outfit or a style of something, we found that that was very much more difficult to sell online. We get a lot more returns. They were big, bulky items and delicate to post. So that model didn't work as well on the website, whereas the hair clips, a lot of them we're restocking and again and again and again. So we take the product photo once and model photos, and we're not having to continuously take like each one-off item, like photos of those. And also in the shop, we had a lot of passing trade from tourists, so we wanted the shop to like look pretty with like maybe crystal brooches that were sort of more impulse buys, less practical items, whereas the online shopper, obviously they still buy some of the more decorative things we do, but it's much more of a practical item that they're often looking for. Like online shoppers often know what they're looking for when they come on the website, whereas in store it was basically people just browsing around the shops. So quite a different market. So I think about we've got rid of at least 40% of what we used to sell in store and focused on the most profitable, highest selling lines just on the website.
Okay. So moving to fully online, that must have meant quite a bit of change. Have you needed to change your order processes and procedures and scale up those operations to optimize the processing time of your orders?
So without the burden of the shop, I have better cash flow, so I can place bigger orders. Because before we were selling out of lines, before we were getting the stock back in, our handmade lines take about 4 weeks to make. So it's not something we can get in quickly. So I've actually done a plan for the next year ahead on what I need to order. Which before it was a bit more reactionary. Oh, we're selling out of that, we need to order it, we never get it in as quickly. But now I've actually placed a huge order, 5 times what I'd normally order, ready for Black Friday to be fully stocked of everything. Because obviously when we were selling out of things, we were leaving money on the table, but also really frustrating customers sometimes if their favorite clips weren't in stock and they'd have to wait for them. So now I've got a whole plan for next year ahead of ordering things on a rotation. So like I'd order like 3 months worth of stock and order a clip only every 3rd order, for example. So hopefully it will work. Hopefully I'll have everything in stock and be able to work out what I need 3 months ahead.
Right. Okay. So you must have a much slicker sort of pick, pack, and ship type process now. Do you have any more staff than you did before, or have the staff you had previously in the shop, have they just migrated across?
Yeah, so I've got I had one full-time staff member working on the website beforehand, and she would basically do everything from marketing, customer service to packing the web orders, with a little bit of help from the shop as well if she was busy and they would help with some of the things. Now I have 2 full-time staff members and 2 part-time staff members who pick and pack the orders as well. And we're also looking to utilise the government's Kickstart scheme and getting 2 new full-time staff members, hopefully to help out, because there's still not enough time in the day to get everything done at the moment.
Okay, so you're able to scale up for, let's say you increase your business next year by 50%. you're in your premises and the way you're working would enable that still to happen, I guess.
Yeah, I yes, we might need a bigger space to store some of the stock. There's another office in our office building we might need to, if we had loads of stock. But generally, yeah, we've got enough room to have more staff. Our stock room is like fully labelled with all of our different lines and things. So yeah, we're ready to scale up. Absolutely.
Okay. So you know you're placing bigger orders and you've got a plan together. Does that help you in your negotiations with your supplier at all?
Um, Good question. Yeah, I've got a good relationship, as you said, with my supplier because we've been buying from them for the last 8 years. Um, I I tend not to negotiate too hard with prices and things because I kind of feel like that I just want the stock from them, like, and I know how much work goes into them, so I'm just appreciative of actually receiving the stock, and I know all the work that's gone into them. Um, so I think from my negotiating with suppliers, it's more like, please can you prioritize my order before you prioritize other people's orders. So it's more of that sort of thing. But yeah, they're lovely people. My main supplier that I buy from, and I actually would have liked to gone over there this year, but because everything with COVID, I'm going to hold off going over this year, and we've been having lots of Zoom meetings instead.
Okay, understand. Just turning back a little bit to the technicalities of Brexit, how are you finding the information and support from the government? So the local chamber of commerce, obviously your supplier themselves, and any shippers you use to move the goods. Are you finding it easy to keep aware of the changing developments, or is it quite challenging?
I must say, I've been delegating a lot of those jobs, so I'll find out whether it's been easy when my team managed to pull it all together. Um, Obviously, I'll oversee all of that, but yeah, there is information online, and we just got to find our way through, really. My supplier, he sells a lot to Asia and things, so he's kind of used to selling outside of the EU. And I mean, we will be hopefully fully stocked and not be like desperate for stock to come in. Um, so I will be my delivery that's due at the beginning of January. I will be asking if we can push it forward a little bit and get it before the 31st of December, because that could save some money on customs. But yeah, I think if there is a delay, we will be ready because we will be stocked up by then anyway.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I would certainly, if it was me, I'd be recommending pulling stocks in before obviously things change, because there may well be quite a lot of disruption in January. It may not be, of course, but at least you know you have the stock available, and it's obviously you're able to sell it. So I would certainly, in my own expertise, I would have said bring things forward a little bit, plan a little bit ahead, get things prepared and organized, and then you give yourself some wiggle room if there are some delays in the first month. That'll be my personal suggestion.
Absolutely, yeah. If they can make it quick enough, like, I need it as soon as they can
Yeah,
make it, really.
yeah, yeah. So, what do you see as your main challenges in 2021 from a retail perspective?
Yeah, so running a shop and an online business is quite different. So I actually am quite relieved not to have the split focus anymore, and I'm actually quite excited about the sort of having the um, room to just explore, like making the website as great as it can be. Like each year we strive to make, like, grow the business and improve the business. So it'd be great that we can work on bigger projects, hopefully expand our team with the help of the government Kickstart scheme to be doing more and more like things like more videos of like hair tutorials, how we could use hair clips, more blog posts and stuff. Whereas at the moment we feel like we want to do more of that, but there's only so much time in the day, especially with getting all the orders out and things like that. So I think, yeah, next year it'll just be kind of honing that even more. And like, yeah, I have other little ideas in my head of maybe like making another website or launching a men's hair accessories website, or even doing like consulting and things if I've got my team sort of working on everything, and we can go to other brands and say like, I've got a team, do you want to utilize them? And so I've got lots of ideas, but I'm very much like someone who wants to make things perfect first and can't really move on until I've done that, which means that like something is never perfect. So I have these ideas of other things I want to do, but whether I'll actually get to them, I'm not sure.
Okay. It's interesting you mentioned the videos. Is social media an important aspect to your campaigns that go out there then? Like YouTube, you've got a strong YouTube account, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we would like to have a stronger YouTube channel. We've got some videos on there that have ranked quite highly, and we do get people clicking through to our website for them. Social media as a whole is something that we want to build up more of and actually have a bigger strategy rather than just posting things. So that's an area that it is on the cards of something we want to grow more of. At the moment, a lot of our customers have come through to our website organically. We've done a lot of stuff through the years of making sure we rank highly on Google. And our other highest sort of customers coming to our website come from Google shopping ads. Those are customers that are looking for a product, they know what they want, and then they click through having sort of seen the products on Google Shopping. So they convert quite highly. Whereas social media, it's a more of a long-term sort of getting a customer warmed up, getting them to know your brands, then sort of like getting them to realize they actually want a hair clip in the first place. So yeah, we haven't cracked social media yet, but that's good in a way because we've got room to grow. So yeah, that'd be another thing for next year, really.
Absolutely. Sounds good. What would you say were the most important learning experiences and kind of habits that you've gained in your journey of the last 10 years?
To build a good team, people that have the right sort of attitude, really. I think like I've got a girl that works for me. She actually started as a Saturday girl when she was 15, just out of school, and she helped me a lot when I was building the website, photography and putting products on the website. And she then went away to university and went to London College of Fashion, and she also did a year working for Hunter Welly Boots in her product development and things. So she's got a lot of like skills that she's learnt, merchandising, buying, and a lot of like the more business side of it, spreadsheets and stuff. And now she's come back to work for me full time. She's worked for me last year full time, and I think it's nice to have those like team members that you've kind of almost homegrown.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to have all the experience from the beginning. And I've got other stories like that. Another girl that works for me, she started off just working part-time, and now she's working full-time and sort of grown into more of the marketing role. And I have moved from some girls that used to work in the shop, and they help with the packing of the orders now, and they're still students at uni or doing other things as well. But it's just getting that person that's passionate about what you do and like wants to do it well because they take pride in what they do and sort of understand the bigger picture. So yeah, I love like working with my team and building that team. And yes, I have had not so great staff as well. Um, but we won't go into those. But yeah, I think that is a key thing to build a good team, and also to build a business that can work without you, because I haven't got I haven't just given myself a job. I can go away from my business and it will run without me. The orders will go out, the emails to customers will go out, customer service will be done. So although I'm a bit of a control freak and I like to get involved, I can also step away from the business as well. And another thing I'd like to say, like, having sort of been in business for like 8-9 years now, is what I've learned is sort of the data is key. You can only improve like what you're recording. So when it comes to ads, like, look at like what is working, what is not. We have a great big spreadsheet which one of my team members fills in each week with all our key performance indicators. So how many customers are on our website, and like everything from like sort of all the stats from like how many people came through from Facebook, or all sorts of different sort of information that we can sort of look at week on week, and set individual targets to improve those things, like improve our conversion rate on the website and things. So it kind of focuses us more. So we've got the bigger picture, and then we've got the sort of like, this is what the conversion rate is now, how do we get it to the next step, what can we do to do that. So yeah, I'd say those are a few little things that I've kind of learnt and learnt to enjoy along the way as well.
Yeah, just curious, do you have kind of like daily sort of production meetings in some respects? Do you decide what you're trying to achieve on the day? Do you go through what issues occurred yesterday? How do you manage the sort of day-to-day awareness of the processes and the procedures and that, to make sure they are actually being maintained and improved upon?
We have weekly meetings, and those are loosely based around our KPI dashboard spreadsheet and what has happened the week before and things like that. We have like general chats throughout the week in the office. Sometimes I feel like things should be more structured, and obviously we've only had I've only had a bigger group and a bigger like sort of working in an office with more of my team around me since June. So all of those things are kind of like striving to get a bit more structure and plan a month ahead and, and things like that.
Yeah.
So we're not there yet, but yeah, I think like, I have got one girl that works from home part-time and stuff, but actually, like, I know like the government obviously saying work from home if you can at the moment, but we have a bigger office, so we can social distance, and actually it's so much easier to have people in the office bouncing ideas off each other. So it is good when we can to be all here talking and chatting and stuff. One thing I would say though is sometimes I have to say, right, it doesn't need all of us to plan the photo shoot. You do one element and you do the other element, and I have sort of learned that a bit more in like having a team and expanding the team and trying to create more like defined job roles. So one is more in charge of the brand voice and the copywriting, and the another one's more the sort of overall look of the brand, and developing those photo shoots and how they're going to look, and things like that. So sort of rather than just everyone pitches in and does a bit of everything and stuff like that. So I am trying to be a bit more organized and defining those roles more.
Yeah, it sounds like you have many people that are on the creative side of things then. Did you say that's the...
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think also they bounce off each other and complement each other well. I'm a very details person and sometimes gets too bogged down in details. my partner is more of an overall picture kind of guy, which does help, although we clash as well. But then the team as well, I've got like one is more sort of methodical and gets her work done. One is kind of flitting from different things and sort of getting things done that need to be done, and reactionary. It kind of is great because I'm like, oh, can you do this and can you do that and stuff, but actually like it's kind of not necessarily what she should be doing. It's like my fault for distracting her, but it's good because you kind of like, I have different members of the team that are kind of good at different things and work well together. So yeah, it works well.
Yeah, so I guess the structure of the business, as you say, the job descriptions and roles, you know, the procedures and processes, the KPIs, all these things are becoming the talk of a bigger business for sure, I would have said.
Yeah, well, that's always the dream, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We were really lucky over lockdown because I mean, I know a lot of businesses have struggled, but we were one of the lucky ones that it meant people were shopping online a lot more. In the peak, our business literally did 4 times what it was doing before lockdown, and although that slowed down a little bit, it's still doing a lot more, which has enabled us to grow and has sort of taken the pain of losing the shop or giving up the shop away. The shop was something that each year I was sort of getting closer and closer to the fact that it isn't as viable, and the website was starting to pay a lot of the shop's bills. And I was being hopeful for a few years that things could turn around, but with COVID, I just then was like, there's no way that that in-store retail is going to do well at the moment. And with the boom of the website, everyone shopping online, and also people not being able to go to the hairdressers over lockdown, obviously helped us because people were needing to maintain their new longer hairstyles. So that helped out a bit. More headbands and side combs being sold. So that helped the business, and like I said, made it a lot easier to kind of not feel sad about getting rid of the shop that I had for 8 years. We're moving to a new, bigger, better office. Like, we've completely redone our stock room, and we've got a big packing station and pigeonholes for each order, and yeah, so we've kind of got a chance to design like a perfect office for this, and it's kind of like I didn't have to worry that the website couldn't survive on its own, and even though the website would financially be supporting the shop at the time, like the stock was held in the shop, out the back of the shop we had our stock and all of our packing station. Obviously that meant that if I was getting rid of the shop, I then had to pay for a bigger office. Well, luckily we suddenly did more money, which meant that we could do that. So yeah, all in all, it's been all the hard work over the years has come to this point, that we were able to make the most of the situation, and then give us more time moving forward without the shop to be able to focus more on making the website as good as it can be, and maybe expanding into other things as well.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Well, you've been extremely generous with your time. If you're going to finish on one note, perhaps it should be, what should your customers be looking forward to or excited about for 2021? Have you got anything you want to share to whet people's appetite?
Yeah, we've recently been designing some lovely new gift bags for all of our handmade range of products. So I'm very excited to see them when they come in. And yeah, basically more tutorials, more blogs, more content, and hopefully making everything as great as it can be, and more more exciting new products. So yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for your time. I find the discussions really informative. If one of the listeners would like to find out more about your products, where would they go to seek you out?
You can find us at www.tegenaccessories.co.uk and Instagram at Tegen Accessories. And you can contact me directly if you wish. It's Tegen, Tegen, at tegenaccessories.co.uk.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, as we just heard, I think the impact of COVID-19 and Brexit simultaneously are certainly creating huge challenges and concerns for many businesses, and of course, impacting the local and global economies, particularly those who are either, or perhaps both, source their products abroad or supply their customers internationally. So I do hope you, the listeners, have found these discussions quite informative. Okay, well, brilliant.
That's great. Cool.
Thanks very much then. Have a good evening. You take care.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please subscribe and leave a positive review if you can spare a minute or two. If you would like to contact me, my email address is david@reallifebuyer.co.uk, or find me at Real Life Buyer on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, where you're welcome to direct message me. I look forward to you joining me on future episodes. Take care, and remember, save money and buy smart.